the high road headed up to Mirabar Harbour Circle. Never winter's not too far, and so we might stay here the night in the middle of the road. And as we settled in, Quinch will give his cube a spin. Such a dazzling cube of many colours. How Quinch loves his cube of many colours. It was red and yellow and green and brown and scarlet and black and ochre and peach and ruby and olive and violet and fawn and lilac and gold and chocolate and mauve and cream and crimson and silver and rose and azure and lemon and russet and grey and purple and white and pink and orange and blue. A quiet way back from Swayze's house, he's had it quite a while. A final twist the other way completes the cube in style. Will there be a surprise inside? Or was it just a waste of time? The adventure continues.
Click. It goes into position. And you have solved the cube of many colours.
Fuck.
What would you like to do in this moment of glory?
So I assume nothing happened other than it's been solved.
Nothing's happened.
Interesting.
You look now and you can see like the 6 sides of this cube. Each have a perfectly plane of colour. You've got scarlet, tangerine, amber, cobalt, olive, and eggshell.
Why does it sound like a group of strippers?
Right, so hang on. We've
Scarlet,
got
tangerine, amber, cobalt,
could you say the...
orange, and eggshell.
Olive
and eggshell. Stacco. Stacoe.
Just for my memory, where did he get this cube of many colours from?
Brilliant.
Yeah, innit? That's what I was just wondering.
Bonglungs. Bonglungs, brilliant.
It's from Bonglung. It's from Lord Ripplington. Interesting.
Bonglung
Okay.
to his friends.
I'm unsure what to do with it apart from
remembering this is the middle of the night, everyone's asleep, you're on watch.
Yeah, I'll bring it up with them in the morning. But one thing that I do ponder on is
Scarlet, tangerine, amber.
I wonder if, obviously, I've got a this is the second, or this is one of 2 multicoloured items associated with me. So I do wonder if there is any kind of link towards the gems. But it's something that I'll speak with but I want to guard it, so I'll put it on my person. I'll affix it to my person. I'll wrap it in some cloth and somehow affix that to my person.
Swaddle it like a baby to your chest.
Yeah,
make a papoose.
Yeah. See, I like the idea of like a necklace with it just hanging from it.
It's the permanent feature.
You reach into your pack and get like a little cloth or something that you can, just as you're wrapping it up, literally just as you're just about to enclose, you suddenly see a little bit of light emitting from the cube. And thinking, oh, is that real? You sort of pull the cloth away to have a look, and you can see just this little bit of pin light coming through from between the cubes. And as you're staring at it, it gets brighter, and it gets brighter, and it doesn't wake anyone else up, but it's bright at night time. It's bright enough that it's definitely standing out. The cube then sort of releases itself from your grasp, elevating itself and floating in midair. The light continues to brighten until you can see beams of it shooting out from all sides, almost like a mirror ball with this like flashes of light just shooting off of it. It starts spinning, and these shards of light emitting from it are hypnotic, and you can't take your eyes off of it, Quinch. You start feeling different. You start feeling stronger, more aggressive. Looking down at yourself, you can see that your muscles are growing, making you more beastly than you've ever been before. You feel, Quinch, like you can achieve more than you've ever done before. An energy rolls through you. Quinch, MJ, you level up.
Wow. Fuck, I just got a rare candy.
I was really hoping it was going to be a belt of giant strength.
Fuck me. Okay, wasn't prepared, but let me go and tend to that.
You level up again. And again. With each passing second, you feel a stronger version of yourself. Level 10, 11, 12. You continue to race through them all. You reach level 20 and feel a familiar sense of who you were before the massacre. You race past your previous mortal achievements. You become, Quinch, a living god, able to achieve anything and everything you wish without breaking a sweat. Looking around you, you notice the rest of your sleeping party have gone, withered into dust. The buildings and trees start rotting and crumbling before your eyes, the landscape changing before giving way to another. You see wildlife racing past, day turns into night, night turns into day. New towns built, thrive and get ruined before your eyes, only to be replaced by others, going through the same pattern. Everything that has a beginning has an end, whether it be war, famine, flood or fire. You are in touch with the world and feel all of its history, present and future. You can see uncountable world-ending events from all over this world and all known planes being snuffed out by plucky adventurers just like you, just like the circus. And sadly, some that succeed. Suddenly all of this stops and you're in a small town. You don't recognise this. You see a human and a dragonborn embrace, lay down, witnessing the moments before your very conception. Fast forward to your birth as your mother brings a mighty warrior into the world. You see yourself as a child, growing, learning how to fight, but also how to survive through running away. This Quinch grows older and older until he is ready to step out into the world on his own. We see him as a young man, protecting others, fighting, killing, improving both his skills and his reputation. He falls in with a group of monks, and at first he is one of them, learning from them. But then he exceeds their teachings. We see their contempt for him and his arrogance towards them. A montage of death as he strikes them all down in a rage this world has never seen before. A bright light casts him out, and you see a weaker Quinch in an unfamiliar land, no longer fighting for others, but fighting to survive. He gets some food, establishes himself again. He is no longer the warrior he was before, but he is at least alive. You see him notice some brigands harassing a half-elf in an alleyway. Remembering who he once was, this young Quinch decides to help the man. In a blur, you see snapshots of your friendship with Dweezil growing and him becoming your best friend. These snapshots shift to all the heroic things you do together. Your travels, arriving at a deserted town, meeting Daboff, Krill and Greg, saving townsfolk, riding with a cloud giant, saving towns from ravaging fires, seeing a friend die, seeing that same friend return to life, being kidnapped, remembering this is not your first home. All of those events that led to this cube being fixed. And then your vision splinters into an infinite array of stories, all starting from a different choice. You see yourself the hero, the villain, and the pawn. You see yourself die 1,000,000 times in 1,000,000 different ways. Quinch, you are loved, hated, and unknown, all at once. These visions shrink away, your eyes blinded by the light of the cube. Slowly your vision returns after a few blinks, and you see you are back in the camp with all of your friends. You are yourself, as you were. Quinch, you take 33 points of psychic damage. And 3 levels of exhaustion.
Great.
You absolute.
Wow.
That's taken 2 years. That's taken 2 years to pay off.
What's
That's
exhaustion
incredible.
3? That's bad.
Dead?
No, exhaustion.
Disadvantage on attacks, basically.
Yeah.
Until
I think a long rest does each exhaustion, doesn't it? I don't
1
think it's.
point of exhaustion per long rest, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, 1 disadvantage on ability checks, 2 at least stack, 2 speed halved, 3 disadvantage on attack rolls and saving throws. So Yeah.
So shall we, just so that this works from a story perspective, shall we say that I had the last watch? Can we? No, like just so that we can just roll from that into, like, maybe Krill said, "Oh yeah, watch out! I heard some cats and that." Then I had last watch and
Nope.
no.
Nope.
The night's not over yet.
Oh, okay. So
Night.
that's fine. Who do I? Who am I handing over?
Imagine
to?
all that happening, and then you go in. That's my shift done.
Have a bit of a nap.
Yeah, that's what I want to address basically. So who's after me then?
Have the other three roll for it. Let's roll who's after it. So one and 2 is Luke, 3 and 4 is Stuart, and 5 and 6 is Mike. Stuart, Dweezil.
Probably the most apt to hand over to.
Yeah, true. So yeah, you hand over to Dweezil.
Right. Okay. So I don't really know how this usually works. If one person wakes the other one up, I mean, we don't have alarm clocks on our phones, do we? So yeah, I'll go and.
You're right. That doesn't happen.
Okay, I'll go and.
You're fucked, mate. You're crawling over to him.
Yeah, I'll go and shake that Dweezil. Go and shake Dweezil.
Oh, thanks, Krill.
Krill.
Sorry.
Krill sort of rolls over and just.
I was dreaming about Krill.
Yes.
Don't
cucumbers.
Don't chat to me, because if we have a protracted conversation, then it's going to make it more difficult for you to get straight to sleep, and then you're not going to. And I need to be getting out there. I need to be going. I need to be on watch.
I don't think I'm going to be sleeping very well, to be honest.
All right. So what you're saying is I should just get.
No. Dweezil, I need to talk to you. So I managed to open the cube of many colours. I've opened it, or at least I solved it, and beams of light shot out, and I saw an infinite number of realms and an infinite number of possibilities. I saw myself. I saw everything that I could have.
Hang on a second. With that, Dweezil starts rooting through his bag to check if Quinch has been at his mushrooms.
No, I promise you, this is real. Look, I show him the cube, hopefully solved. Does he see
It's
it?
all gone back random again.
Yeah, does he see it solved?
Yeah, he sees it solved.
So yes,
All the colours.
yeah.
It's weird that so many of the colours are sort of reddy orange, and it's called the cube of many colours. But that's scarlet, tangerine, and amber. Like, they're basically the same colour.
It's a very autumnal.
What's
theme.
that? Olive? Olive?
Please let me.
What would you call this shade of blue?
Cobalt, I think, but I'm not an expert. Now listen, I all of these things that I saw, all of these circumstances, I feel like I could learn from them, but currently I feel absolutely exhausted. This really hurt me. I felt a severe, sharp pain in my head, and I'm utterly exhausted. I will try and sleep, but this thing that has happened to me may take me some time to get over, and I might need some help mentally over the next several days.
I don't. Sorry, the bit I don't get is I'm extremely exhausted. I won't be able to sleep.
Sometimes you can be too tired. Take it as a parent. Sometimes you're just too tired and you can't sleep.
Yeah. I mean, I think what's happened is you've got overexcited, Quinch. You solved the cube. You've got overexcited because that's how you get with things like this. And
Object permanence.
yeah, and I just get to sleep, mate.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to go over and sleep. Quinch walks off. Can Quinch now vomit, like as if he's had like a migraine headache sort of thing? So
yeah,
Quinch,
I'll allow that.
Quinch vomits as he staggers over to his bed. He seems out of it, and not normally he would be more caring and try and clean up the vomit, but he sort of just collapses into his bed and just starts breathing heavily and cowers into a ball.
Normally, he would try and clean up the vomit. We all know that that's not true.
I was just about to say that is the most fantasy thing that's happened in this podcast in 3 years, is that MJ's tried to suggest Quinch would clean up his own vomit. At best, he'd eat his own vomit.
At best, he'd try and put it in a vial with some other bodily fluids.
I mean, Stuart knows that this is more serious, but Dweezil just thinks that this is some absolute middle of the night Quinch nonsense.
Yeah, fair.
Like when come and listen to me singing statue business, and we all know that turned out to be absolutely nothing.
Yeah, it does. It does seem like Quinch gets the short straw a little bit.
Yeah,
these things happen to him when he's on his own.
Probably serves him right, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Could have been worse. That could have killed him.
Yeah.
Like if he'd taken any damage from the thing, like, I was genuinely worried. So just to give you some mechanics on that, basically that was 1d6 plus every turn that you've done since you've had it.
Wow.
Excuse me. That was. I assumed the 33 was fixed.
No, it was 1d6 plus.
Because 33 is my lucky and favourite number.
Oh, I didn't even know that. No, nice.
You did know that.
You knew it. You just didn't realise it.
Yeah,
I didn't realise. Yeah, I knew it was your number. I didn't realise. I didn't realise.
I thought you were rolling for the type of damage that it was.
Nate, did you think that the initial reaction to him sharing this would be, you absolute bullshit?
Well, I didn't know when it would happen, because obviously he does it at any time of the day. So I've genuinely been mildly worried, because obviously if this happens in the middle of the night when he's on his own and he's got less than 33 hit points, or whatever the figure would have rolled out.
Just steps aside in combat to give it a twist.
You genuinely, the rest of you would have woken up the next morning to potentially a dead body, like, and not known how he died.
That's amazing.
That would have been my preference for how it happened.
The one thing that I'm so glad though was that you bought the level up nonsense. Like,
oh,
you
absolutely.
thought that you'd leveled up.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I was like, he's just going to be a level above us forever.
So Quinch, you're now sleeping in your own vomit, and Dweezil,
near it.
Yeah, near it. And Dweezil, you're now on watch.
Yeah. I'll pay vague attention to Quinch.
Yeah, you say you pay vague attention to him. Perhaps he is your best friend, and you've seen some shit happening to him in the last few days, and maybe you pay a little bit more attention to it than you think. Maybe at the back of your mind it starts rumbling around all this shit that he's going on about, and you start worrying about him, and it just keeps you a little bit wired while you're on watch, and you're just looking around, and then all of a sudden you start hearing bells ringing. Dong. Dong. You start looking around. Look over your shoulder. You're just looking everywhere. Blink. You're in Nightstone.
Ooh.
It's nighttime. You hear the sound of bells ringing from the tower in Nightstone. You can see all of those stones that had thudded to the earth many days ago. You still can't see the Nightstone itself. That's not there, but certainly this is a familiar landscape to what you've seen in the past when you first came to Nightstone. But it's nighttime, and as you're sort of looking around, you're confused by this whole situation, and obviously you get a very similar sense to when you were disappearing off into this chapel in this other city. And as you're looking around, you see somewhat off at the distance where you are. You have a good memory of Nightstone, and you're basically at the gate. You're not too far from where the tower is, and so you sort of in front of you can see, like, off to the left and right. You can see a lot of the buildings, and just off to the distance with your dark vision, you can just see what seems to be like a hooded figure running through the night. Not full pelt by any means, not full speed, but just sort of like scurrying along. They're medium-sized. Probably on the lower side of medium size, maybe early to mid 5 feet. What would you like to do? And as you're looking, they're running. If you remember Nightstone, you've essentially got the gate to your back, and you're looking. So they're running essentially from north to south, sort of running across your path, so to speak. Far enough away that they're not near you by any means. They're probably about 30, 40, 50 feet away.
Right. Questions, Nathan. How confused am I? So obviously I've had these kind of weird visiony transportations recently, and have spoken to Greg about them. do I feel that this is some kind of weird visionary transportation, or is this more like a lucid dream where I'm not aware that something weird's happening to me, but I'm just there in the moment?
If we consider the difference between this and say the first that time you went to the chapel first time, time you went to the chapel, you could probably be forgiven for thinking it was some weird dream that you were somehow in control over. This feels very similar, but obviously having been through 3 visions or whatever you want to call them before, you sort of get a feeling, a familiar sense that this is the same as that, albeit a completely different landscape. So you can move around and do something if you want to.
And I suppose it means that I also I feel almost empowered to do things that are dangerous or out of character, because I don't necessarily feel. I feel like this is almost like a virtual reality kind of thing.
Well, certainly when you
any virtual reality films where it's if you die in the make
I can't think of any virtual. Give me an example.
Tron.
Never seen it.
Lawnmower Man.
Never seen it.
The Matrix.
Tron Legacy.
I've seen The Matrix. Is that?
Sort of.
Yeah, but if you die in the Matrix, you die in real life. So.
Do you?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's a very famous point of the Matrix.
Ready Player One.
Yeah,
I've seen that.
Yeah.
So how far away is this hooded figure?
Oh, like 50 foot away, something like that.
Right. If I were to shout...
Yeah.
Go on, I can't... What can't I do, Nate? Go on.
I was going to say, they're not close enough that you can see any real detail other than medium size, stuff like that.
I'm going to shout.
Let it howl out.
Yeah, I'm going to shout, you there. And as I shout, I'm gonna chase after them.
Okay.
And as I'm chasing after them, I start to wrap the words of Tasha's hideous laughter around my tongue.
Okay. You shout, and the person running doesn't react, carries on running. But as you go to make your first step and you start speaking, you just hear behind you.
Is it Doss? Do I recognise that noise?
It's sort of like it's a really weird cough, like a almost like a fake cough.
Right. In which case, I will turn round, and as I turn round, I've still got the words to my incantation on the tip of my tongue, on the tip of my tongue, right on the tip, right, just the tip.
You turn around and you see what appears to be an elven man, but not like any elf you've ever seen before. Like they look like if a child had drawn an elf based on descriptions. They have pointy ears, but very long pointy ears. Bit of a pudgy face, but sort of just something elven about it. Dressed wise, just fairly similar to you, which is weird. Not quite right, not quite the same, but very similar to Dweezil's style.
It's not that horrible drawing that Sam did ages ago, is it? Of where like he did like handsome versions of us and then like horrible versions, and he had
Well,
like
you had,
snot,
the crooked nose, and
yeah,
the weak chin.
yeah. It's not that, is it, Nathan?
No, it's not that.
All right.
You turn around to them and he looks at you and just gives another little.
Yeah, you got my attention with your performative cough. Go on.
Hello, my friend. It's Farinal. In the flesh I finally stand. I really am so sorry for ripping you from your merry band. They are safe, never fear. There are no creatures where they rest. I wouldn't bring you here if you had an unwelcome guest. Therefore, right now I'm popping in, so you know I'm still here. And to let you know your debt repayments drawing near. A favour done, a favour earned. Your friend was saved from fire. Are you ready for me to tell you the task that I desire. And as he finishes that last word, you see, he's somewhat silhouetted because it's nighttime, but just as he finished that last thing, you suddenly see a star glow around his left eye.
You talk in riddles, yes you do. But lies as well come from you. You said you'd save my friend from death, but still you let him take his last breath. And now you talk of jobs for me. Will I do it? Let's wait and see.
Love a freestyle.
Oh, you rhyme wonderful! That's the bard in you. But please, there is no pressure. It's not something you have to do. So I repeat and seek an answer to my question asked. Do you want to know the service of which you'll soon be tasked?
It doesn't matter what I say. You're gonna tell me anyway.
He nods.
Dun, 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 dun,
I was about to say this is like a shit version of 8 Mile.
A man is close. You'll meet him soon. You'll learn a lot from him. But he is rotten to the core. He is evil to the brim. He has to die at your hands. It's best for all involved. You alone will find it tough, but the problem must be solved. I'll say no more. I'll keep this brief. It's best you go in blind. Just know I wouldn't ask this if our fates weren't intertwined. Blink. You're back in the camp.
Shazam. Oh, I'm annoyed. Oh,
So Dweezil's just going to kill the next bloke we run into.
yeah. Oh, I'm furious.
I think Krill's next up on the watch. I think
No, Krill went first.
No, I did first one.
No. We did it out of order.
All right,
Krill,
okay.
Krill gets a second
Okay.
watch. So if you could just kill him, that'd be fine. Thanks.
See, I didn't know.
oh, yeah,
Didn't realise
yeah,
that was what you
yeah.
were doing.
Yeah.
Anything you would like to do with the end of your watch?
Just, I mean, I'll quietly seethe because I don't think it's fair to. I tell you, Dweezil understands what's happening here. Dweezil is fuming because I feel like I've been absolutely gypped. Not just by this Farinal fella, but also by my DM. And also because my DM knows that I went through a very traumatic similar experience in another game where I got completely gypped, where I made a deal and it didn't work out the way. Beware of it's like King Midas, isn't it? Where's it real? But what Dweezil's going to do, right? Because even though he's had a horrible traumatic experience on his watch, what he's not going to do is go and wake someone up and blather on about them and then performatively vomit. Because that just wouldn't be fair. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quietly seethe.
Masturbate and go to
He's
sleep
not-
like
he's
everyone
not
else.
gonna- He's not going to trauma dump.
Excuse me, your fucking traumatic event didn't end in fucking 40 points of damage and 50 exhaustion levels or something.
Could be
50?
worse, though.
Oh, you're dead then.
Yeah.
About 10 times over.
Yeah, could be worse. So instead, I'll go, who's next? Is it Daboff or Greg?
MJ, think yourself lucky someone didn't rhyme at you.
I'd just go and flick Daboff's ears, and then go.
Flick his
Okay.
mane.
Daboff, you get through your session with no problems. Don't worry, you didn't hear any cats
Well,
rhyming
as he flicked me
or death.
to wake me up,
Yeah.
which I find incredibly rude, can I just dip his hand in like water, like while he's sleeping?
Absolutely. Can I get a Constitution saving throw from Dweezil, please? I'm looking for a 15 or above to not piss yourself.
That's a 4.
You piss yourself.
That would have turned a cat.
But don't worry, Quinch would usually tidy that up for you. Daboff, nothing happens during your watch.
Cool.
And you pass over to Greg. And Greg, nothing happens during your watch. Nothing of interest.
Nice.
The second day starts well. Have we ever noticed that Harshnade never takes a watch? Selfish bastard.
I mean, how well does it start when we wake up to the smell of piss and vomit?
Do we all just look at Dweezil and just go, oh, he's not getting any younger, is he? It's only a matter of time, really.
We look at Dweezil and say that, well, we've got Greg. He's like this full-on geriatric.
Oh,
To be
Greg.
fair, he's about 50 foot in the air, so we would see like it raining down on us.
Really very localized rain.
The second day starts off fantastically, as you say. I actually got down here. The second day starts well, but obviously not. Yeah, you pack up your camp and start moving on, knowing that you should reach Mirabar by the end of the day. Yeah, go on.
So first and foremost, did I have? I feel like I tossed and turned. So it's at your discretion. But did I have any kind of rest?
I would say you will have a long rest for what happened to you yesterday, but for the purposes of the exhaustion, that'll kick in from today.
Yeah,
because that happened halfway through the night.
So he
Yeah,
lost the
that's
33 hit points and then got them all back.
Yeah,
No.
so you get the 33 point.
Oh,
No, you won't get the 33 hit points back. No, sorry. So anything that happened with the cube
yeah,
is not going to be fully rested out of you, so to speak. So you've
Yeah.
lost the hit points and you've got the 3 levels of exhaustion.
yeah, cool.
But anything that happened during the battle,
So any abilities or anything that.
So I'm assuming then we'd mount up again.
so what I would say, so to keep this easy, if you do a long rest and then take off 33 hit points.
And add exhaustion level 3.
So as we set off, Quinch.
You look tired, Quinch?
Yes, I've done better. Quinch catches up with Greg, and just passes him the cube and says, actually, just Quinch explains everything that happened to Greg, passes him the cube, and he says, "Could you just do a magic check on this? I want to know anything that you can find out about it."
He turns it back one, chucks it at Greg and says, "Finish up."
Well, I suppose I could. I had a great night's sleep after all. I'm feeling like a younger man this morning. Possibly one of the best sleeps I've ever had.
Your skin does look good.
And that's how you invented Airbnb.
Wow!
Have inspiration for that. That was
Good
really
night,
good.
everyone.
D&D was that?
No.
It's all similar, yeah.
Yeah, if I do an Arcana check on the cube,
Okay.
then.
Give me a roll. Roll me out, Daddy.
Roll 16.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to say that quite as mechanically in character, sorry.
Well, you probably would just come over and go, "Could you do some heebie-jeebies on this for me?"
Yeah,
Or something
precisely.
along that line.
What? What's your roll?
16.
16. Can't get any magic off this, my friend.
What you have here, Quinch, is what's known as a child's toy that has no value at all. I chuck the cube back to him.
Quinch holds up his right hand, or arm, including hand, grabs the cube, snatches it, very coolly and calmly puts it back in his satchel and says, "Actually, it was invaluable." And continues walking on.
He walks on his own into the sunset.
A cat comes and attacks him.
No, but in all seriousness, if Quinch has told him the story about what happened last night and how he could see into the future and then it went back into his past and things, Greg's going to kind of lean over him to go, "So do we ever catch the bloody assassin?"
We did, in an infinite number of realms. But their face was always shrouded, unfortunately, as was their location.
Okay, lovely. Anything else?
We must have, at some point, cast, because I have detect magic, we must have cast it on the cube.
Yeah, I think you knew it was magic,
Yeah.
but you just didn't know what school of magic or anything like that.
No.
I'm not sure that Greg's ever been shown the cube, like actually handed it and said,
It's like,
"You
what
check
the
this."
fuck is that? I've never seen this before in my life.
Quinch has been doing it for the last month on his own. It's like,
Well, yeah, it's
precious.
every time he goes to bed, isn't it? We were just thinking he's having a little fumble.
I had a go of it as well. Did anyone
did?
else? Yeah. Did anyone else have a go?
I was.
No, don't really see.
I've obviously been planning for Quinch, as you can tell. I did think to myself, what about if he asks someone else to finish the last thing.
Finish him off.
Finish off his multicoloured appendage. But no, thankfully he finished off himself for all of us.
Yeah. So
You could have made it so that last turn just didn't work for anyone else.
Very true. I did give him a get out. Everyone heard me. I said it clicked. He could have stopped there and it would have been saved 33 points and 3 levels of exhaustion. But
no, that's not the important part. That's not the important
part.
part.
Fun and tragedy.
Development.
Exactly. Okay. Setting off. Thanks for listening. Make sure you don't miss out on the circus's next crazy antics by hitting subscribe on your podcast app of choice. And in between episodes, you can always find us on social media by searching Dyson Desire on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. We're in our 3rd year now, and if you want to help us grow, you can do so in a number of ways. You can tell a friend, because word of mouth really helps us get our name out there, or you can review us on Apple or Podchaser to help with our visibility. Finally, you can donate to our Ko-fi page to help us take the show to the next level. All links can be found in this episode's description. And never forget, sometimes it is a dog licking the tree, yes?
Welcome to Roleplay Retcon Studios, located at the nexus of all alternate universes, including the sexy vampire ones.
Ooh.
At Roleplay Retcon, we remake famously disappointing movies using comedy, hindsight, and tabletop RPGs.
Like Dungeons and Dragons?
Yes, but specifically not Dungeons and Dragons. We take a second pass at guilty pleasures like Batman and Robin or Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, and even some controversial favorites like Twilight.
But I love those movies.
We do too, and all of the movies we do have something to love. If they didn't, there would be nothing to reimagine. At the end of each series, we compare our vision to the original films, because why the not?
I can't wait to listen to Roleplay Retcon on nerdsmith.org or wherever you get podcasts.
I'm gonna listen to it before you do.